Everyone, Christian here, and I want to do a little vlog on growing palms in the shade and some of the disadvantages. I am actually at an Airbnb here, actually in Venice, which seems weird because that's where I lived for 12 years. But we needed a couple extra rooms because my dad's in town, a couple other family members. So we were about to head out. It's been a rainy weekend, but anyway, in front of us we have a bunch of lutescens, areca palms, Dipsis lutescens, that is. So there's a little cottage here, and you can see there's a lot of Australian pine, and then there's live oak overhead. So there's quite a bit of shade. There's one here, there's a couple over here, smaller ones. And so essentially what we have here is a queen palm that is really looking for shade so bad that it's actually looking to tip itself over. So you can see here the owner has tried to use various types of strapping to keep it kind of upright. But the problem is the palm's going to go where it wants to go. So you have it, it's tied up with some string, which is probably not going to be strong enough. You need a little thicker, probably twice as thick, to a 2x4 in the ground. And then a metal post, I think they call them U-posts, and just to kind of like hold it. But you don't want to do that because if you look here, you got the post pushing right in through the where the crown is going to start growing, and it could just cause some kind of mechanical problems in the future. But this leaf here was grown in the shade, and you can see it's about, I don't know, 10 feet long, and it's just looking for some sun. And this is where there's a little bit of open area up here, kind of in the middle of the day. I saw yesterday some sun does come through, but it's just not enough for plants like this, and for a palm like this that can grow perfectly fine here in the sun. Here in Florida, you're trying to plant it out in the shade, you can see it gets so leggy. You can see how long the petioles are before any leaves start. This is one that's been a couple of them been cut off, but there's no leaflets that are missing. For example, you can see how far this goes out until it actually starts producing leaflets. So, and also another good determinant of just how little light comes through is these are their common name is a corn plant, but they're in the Dracaena family. This one and that one, and they're actually doing great here. They got a little bit of leaf tip browning, but that happens with all of them. They really like they tolerate low humidity with that, but they like high humidity. They're from a rainforest climate, but a cool rainforest, a cloud forest, I believe. So also growing here, you got Camadria elegans, probably the most common indoor palm, maybe the Kentia palm, Howea forsteriana is a little bit more common, but definitely the most common clumping palm for indoor use. But here it's perfectly fine. It's doing really well. These grow again in cloud forests, and they are just they're beautiful plants, but it gives you kind of an idea of just how little light gets through here. So it's important to choose shade-loving plants for a shady garden, and I wish I had a garden that could be have this much shade. I have no shade in my garden, so as of yet. So that's the problem with with many gardens in Florida. They clear cut the land, so you can't really have the opportunity to plant anything in a shade. You get to produce your own shade. So one last example here. This is Washingtonia robusta, which again is a robust grower here in Florida, but it's just not going to grow very fast or well, given how little sun it gets. It gets full sun and habitat, and it's not used to this little sun here. So that's going to take a long time to really grow up. Choosing some other palms like king palms or Arconta phoenix, just anything else that really grows in more shady locations, because queens are actually native to kind of like rocky hills in southern Brazil, and the Washingtonians are native to Baja California del Sur. I think it's the southern province of Baja California. They're probably in Del Norte as well, but it's hard to tell because they're everywhere. So a few other plants that to note, showing also that these aloes are really leggy. They're not holding up. They should be upright like that leaf, but that's probably just going to go down. And all these alocaceas that are here are doing great, which is great, but it gives you an idea of just how little sun there is. So make sure when you plant your palms, your sun palms, plant them in a sunny location. If you need to protect them, that's one thing. If like, you know, you live in a cold climate and that's your only option, or, you know, just use cold protection when you can. You will get a few more degrees of cold tolerance by planting them underneath live oak canopy, but you know, use that with the right plants, ones that do like some shade, not just full sun lovers like Washingtonia. And you know, queen palms really just do better in sun. So that's about it. There's a little coconut out there actually, a couple of sprouts. I don't want to just fill, everybody's kind of outside here across the street, so this is a street in Venice. I've actually never been down the 14 years I've lived here, so you find something new every day. But also bird of paradise here. You have bird of paradise grows in southern Africa, mostly South Africa, and it is a sun lover. It grows in a climate just kind of like the same as Florida does, but in open air, open in full sun. So these foxtail ferns are doing great in the sun. I think they're pretty sun. I mean, they're doing great in the shade, but they're pretty sun tolerant as well. So just kind of want to show you guys a few things that you know, make sure you plant palms or other plants that are, you know, are for the amount of sun or shade you have for your garden. So if you have a lot of overhead canopy, use it, because there's a lot of cool palms that you can grow in the shade or require shade that you can't grow outside of like your patio without some help, so, or without some kind of overhead cloth. So utilize it properly. You know, usually that is a limited space for most gardens in Florida. So you're living in a rainforest, and you know, then you're lucky you can, you know, you got a lot of shade there. So, but you can see that queen palm just looks really out of place with that 10-foot leaf, you know, here you see from afar. So anyway, I figured I'd show that to you guys. You can kind of see these things growing in weird ways. So I've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. You'll see many more palm videos and other plants as well. And if you have any questions about growing shade-loving palms, or which one of the palms I've reviewed have been, you know, shade lovers, go ahead and leave it down below, and I will get to you guys as soon as possible. I'll be back from vacation tonight, and so I'll be able to respond to a lot of the comments I've been getting lately. So anyway, see you guys later.